Hello everyone, welcome back to Triton Cup 53. We are on round 4 with a fresh new team off the block, Missclick and MI5. We saw Missclick's domination from last round, and hopefully we can see a bit more of it here. But not, maybe we can get the whole best of 5 instead of just maybe a best of 3 like last time, or 3 rounds. Yikes, I don't know best ofs. How do you think of Mahi, hey, Bio?
Well, Mahi spot zones has been something that has been rising in the community. It was seen as one of the worst maps in the game, but people are finally seeing the light. This is, I would say, top 3 or 5 maps in the game, in my opinion. It has quite a few approach options. Once the water level drops, it is definitely a bigger map, which solves some of the problems that it has when the water is higher up, and it does allow a lot of different weapons to thrive here. And as we come into this match, we may see both teams take advantage of the benefits of this spectacular map, I insist. Now, Missclick, now here we see one of the teams with Baja Blast, MI5 coming out with their staple Tetra composition with a squeezer, not something you see every day. While Missclick sticking with the comp that we saw last on our last match with that Stamper machine. Definitely very interesting. However, that is 2 down immediately. Baja wasting no time pushing in with these Tetras and just getting pick after pick and holding forward, keeping Missclick from pushing forward. That is going to be an early zone capture for MI5. And they're going to be holding it with this front line pressure with that crab and those Tetras. Tetra pushing out very aggressively, not quite able to get the pick, however, and not a lot of follow-up coming out from their team. The Stamper managing to get another pick, and that is a delayed wipeout for MI5. Only the Tetra alive, but manages to get the pick on the Stamper and stays alive. Very impressive coming out from Baja. Racefighter are going to open up a little bit. Manages to switch the zone, but not enough. And that's again 3 down. That's maybe a wipeout, no, but that is 3 down on the side of MI5. They're really struggling to maintain mid control and pressure when they just keep getting wiped out by all these specials coming out from Missclick. They're really struggling here. Missclick managing to hold a lot of map control, doing a great job, but the crab on the side of MI5 gets sniped by Missclick. That was not something you want to see. And this, but the Tetra coming up gets a pick on the splash. That might just be crucial. They have no tri-strike. They only have the zip caster to work with. If the squeezer can get the pick, and they do, and they get 2, this might just be enough to switch the zone. If they get the pick on the machine, maybe just pay. Not quite enough, and Missclick still managed to maintain zone against MI5.
That was a really close call there. We could have really gone there. Might have been just commentator curse. I don't know. oh! Here it is. Yep, it was totally the commentator curse last time then. But picking up a very nice hefty penalty for Missclick, as they did lose the zone, only to potentially reclaim it. Never mind, commentator curse yet again. An infinite, never-ending question of who gets his zone this time. It seems Missclick got it back. The Stamper not being able to activate the zipper, the Spider-Man special, as they get knocked out, and a whole 3 go down from Missclick. Very, very unfortunate there, but it does allow MI5 to run down the clock a little bit more. That crab just getting destroyed? That was crab. Wow.
But very incredible Zuka coming up from Marsh here, managing to get 2 picks, and it is only the charger left on Missclick as points start going down for MI5. They're doing just a great job. Look at this. Tetra doesn't get a pick, but does hold them back and buys a lot of time for their team. MI5 just waiting and not really pushing here. They're just playing very, very passively and waiting Missclick to come for them. But unfortunately, that counterattack style is not quite enough, and MI5 do end up having their zone flip. They're going to be dealing with a few points of penalty, but again, this is splat zone. those penalty points go down fast, especially when your squeezer is getting picks like that. 2v3 now on 2v3 now on the side of Missclick. Will the Tetra be able to get the pick? Yes, that is a crucial pick. Not able to hit with a splash, but it is enough. That pick on the machine is going to keep them from having those fizzy bombs and that midline pressure that machine excels at. MI5 struggling to push in with these specials as some of their Slayers need to get picks here if they want to make something happen. Missclick goes one down. As I said, MI5 getting those picks. Pushing with the Zuka, doesn't find any picks, but does manage to switch the zone, putting MI5 back in the game.
Yeah, and going 3 down for Missclick. Sniper definitely have to fall back as they don't want to destroy their special points for the trying strike coming in soon. Maybe to even just stall the zone even just a tiny bit, as the penalty is almost out and they are almost able to get the lead. There we go. It's good past the lead now. It's all downhill from now. Just kidding. But here comes the zone swap for Missclick, as Baha getting a nice pick and returning the zone to its natural green state. The Stamper trying to do anything they can to get some special points for maybe going a flank, but unfortunately it seems it was a back and forth round with MI5 getting the lead in the end.
Definitely MI5 with that slight switch of lead was able to contest the zone for long enough to get that game win. Great job on their part, and a lot of great picks coming out from the Squeezer and Tetra, and that is going to solidify them as game 1 winners. That is now 1-0 on the side of MI5. The pressure is now on for Missclick to make something happen here on their next match. Now remember, folks, this is now a best of 5 with counter picks, so we are going to have to wait for Missclick's counter pick here. And in my opinion, well, we'll have to wait a little bit, but in my opinion, this makes sets a lot more exciting since there is now a lot more depth to what teams choose against to try and find an answer to the other team's composition. In this case, Missclick might try to go on a map that favors their composition a little bit more compared to that Squeezer Tetra comp that we were seeing MI5 come out with that was doing wonders against Missclick. Maybe a much slower map such as Mincemeat Splat Zones may favor them a little bit more, but we'll have to see what they come out with.
Yeah, they'll definitely want to have something where they specialize in, and maybe not have MI5 be good at, but that's probably a hard ask, as most teams probably are good at least at all maps, maybe.
For sure, and we are still here waiting for their counter pick, but I just want to highlight, honestly, this may seem a little bit obsessive, but I loved MI5's playing off of that Tetra's aggression and the Squeezer putting out such consistent midline and even long range pressure with that Zuka did wonders for their team. It was very, very difficult for Missclick to find an answer to all the raw aggression that MI5 was putting in their faces. And that was what ended up giving them the zone and the lead on Splat Zone's Mahi. It is definitely admirable to see how they are pushing such an aggressive composition on the much slower maps.
Oh, and it seems we've got the new map of Museum Alfonsino, which is not as flat as Mahi, so they're definitely gonna have to the Tetra will have a bit more maneuverability going up and down, as well as that swinging sides. Might be fine, but for that his special, the reef slider, he'll have to detonate it a bit earlier than normal.
Definitely. Splat Zone's Museum d'Alfonsino is a map that has a lot of approach options, which may be very beneficial for that Tetra, especially dropping off that far right side straight out of spawn. May be very useful for a hardcore quick respawn weapon such as Tetra Dualies. But as we come in here, MI5 versus Missclick, game 2 of this best of 5. We are going to be seeing MI5 stick with their tried and true composition, only switching out one of the Neo variants for the vanilla, while Missclick stay with with their composition that they have stayed now for 2 sets. They seem to have a lot of faith in it, and especially we are seeing it as this Tetra does go down straight out of the gate. Squeezer trying to get a pick, overextends a little bit on the left side though, gets picked by the Stamper, who is now trying to focus the Crab Tank and doing a great job of it, not letting it get too much value outside of 1 pick. But this Splash is playing incredibly, gets 2 picks before getting shut down by the Splatter Scope. But that is a round of applause for them managing to make the best out of a bad situation. But regardless, the rest of MI5 isn't quite able to follow up, and that is now basically a wipeout for MI5, and Missclick are starting to get a very dominant presence on their platform.
Yeah, they're just keeping the zone ticking away while they keep them active on their platform. It seems the Reef is going in, but unfortunately getting double teamed there. A very unfortunate situation for the Tetras. But they definitely were able to get the zone to stall and finally get a capture, which gives Missclick a very heavy penalty, which hopefully will keep them at bay enough while future recaptures may or may not happen. But it seems they're gonna. The Tetra was just leading them up here and retreating back to safety down on the little platform, while keeping the Sniper busy with his theatricals jam.
Definitely, MI5 just getting forced off of zone. They are all clustered on that left side. They have a crab set up there to try and find their way in, and indeed the Squeezer managed to find a pick. That is 2 down on the side of Missclick now, 3 down. It is only the Charger, and that was going to depend on which members of MI5 are able to get on Missclick's plat, since that is the position that you want to hold in order to get a good knockout, thanks to those lockouts that you would need to get on Splat Zone's map. Baja looking for a pick, and incredible shark against the Charger, but a flank on the left side, maybe just able to neutralize the zone here. Is it able to? Not quite, and the Stamper is very weak here. It is only the Stamper putting out pressure, not quite, and although it may be getting some attention, it's still just not enough. However, never mind, they get an incredibly crucial kill, but it's still just not enough. 3 down on the side of Missclick is now in knockout position. All MI5 need to do is paint here, paint through the tri-strikes, and yes, MI5 taking this game 2 with a pretty close knockout against Missclick. We're definitely, this was what I was afraid of. Missclick didn't really choose a map that worked best for them, and they instead chose a map that honestly favored MI5's composition and playstyle a lot more over Missclick's, and that's what I mentioned that counter picks were good for, to find maps that where you can exploit the other team's weaknesses a lot better and a lot easier. But this was not one of those maps. I think in order to take this set back, because it is match point for MI5, I think Missclick are going to need to find an answer to this fast composition that MI5 is running, whether it be through a more appropriate map, whether it be through a comp change, but they're going to have to find something.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to see a match point finally. But who knows, maybe Missclick might pull it back and might go the whole 5 rounds. We'll have to see based on their map pick.
Oh, for sure. But again, it's just what I'm saying. On these games, MI5 is being able to consistently push so aggressively, push together, and play off of the distraction that the Tetra makes to get pick after pick after pick, which Missclick is struggling to play against. And we're just seeing this again and again, which allows them to just really take all the space that they want, and Missclick isn't really fighting for it. They're not able to hold enough map control through bombs, through specials, through main weapons to really keep MI5 at bay.
So Museum Alfonsino didn't exactly work for them. So maybe something with a bit more verticality might work. maybe, like Under Heights.
Possibly, but the main thing I'd like to see is a map that really exploits the fact that MI5 needs good flank routes to move in, but it's still just I'm not sure if Splat Zone's Inkblot Art Academy is the pick here. I'm not sure if that's the best idea for them. But if Missclick feels comfortable with it, let's see how they do. Inkblot Art Academy is definitely a map that can favor the Charger composition that Missclick is coming out with. But as for the Tetra composition that MI5 is looking for, tell me, Manic, what do you think? How do you think MI5 is going to react to this counter pick? Do you think they're going to be able to play this map to its fullest, or is this actually a map that favors Missclick's comp over MI5's?
Well, maybe they picked this map due to that. I don't know how the flank route is. I think it might be worse than Museum, but I think it's viable enough because you don't really see it coming sometimes. I mean, you're always playing there anyways, but just going there, I don't know. I think it shouldn't really affect them too much, as it's pretty much the same, if not even faster, to get to the zone. So might be fine. Probably fine. And here comes Baha with instant rush to their platform and getting one pick really locked in and almost going for that second for the sniper. Fortunately getting hit there, but MI5 getting the zone, so it's always a win in the end.
Definitely. MI5 getting that early zone cap, and although they don't have anyone set up on Missclick's platform, they are definitely putting out a lot of space with all those bombs, but it's just not enough, and one goes down on the side of MI5 due to a clutch Charger shot, and MI5 lose the zone. They just kind of scattered after that pick from the Charger. They didn't have any specials to back up their defense, and I'm not sure if I like this crab tank very, very early, and what gets shredded by all the damage coming out from MI5, and that's just 2 down. MI5 is really struggling to find a way in here against Missclick's composition. Like I said, Charger does work on this map very, very well, and I thought that Tetra would have an easier time here, but apparently not. Missclick is doing a great job of playing around the faults that a Tetra composition has, and that's again 2 down on MI5 as Missclick start going into knockout position. That was a great trade from the Stamper. It's a 2v2 right now. It's a 1v2. This Tetra needs to make something happen, and happen fast. Will they be able to? They get a trade with the Booyah Bomb, but that's not worth it. They needed to stay alive, and it's really no one on zone on the side of MI5, and Missclick take this map in a dominant fashion, putting themselves back on the board 1-2 against MI5.
I guess this is the start of the reverse sweep. Maybe. Commentator's curse. Maybe. Yeah, that was quite dominant of them. Didn't really see. I guess it was the Zipcaster's annihilation of the crab and the other pick that it picked up. I kind of forgot that Zipcaster really is showing off in this map, especially with the tall buildings that you're able to just zip to and long fall, getting a sneak attack there. But I guess we'll have to see MI5's first counter pick and see if they decide to go with a fan favorite. Well, I guess we'll see how it is with Flounder Heights.
Definitely, Splat Zone's Flounder Heights I do think it is a good map for MI5. Tetra is definitely a better weapon to play on this map, especially with all the different approach options that Tetra can take advantage of and push out the other team from different angles. The Squeezer may struggle a little bit due to the lack of clear sightlines aside from the bottom right and left of this map, but I think it definitely makes up for it, seeing as how Tetra and some of the splashes are very, very good on this map. However, in terms of specials, I do think we are going to be seeing a lot more Tri-Strikes and less Crab Tanks, since not only has Crab Tank been slowly, but very slowly, falling off, but also Tri-Strikes, especially on very vertical maps such as Flounder Heights, do find a lot of space to shine. Now, but in terms of Missclick, do you think we're finally going to see them switch off of this composition, or do you think that we're still going to see Missclick go with this Stamper machine composition? What do you think, Manic?
Machine's definitely gonna stay, but Stamper, I mean, yeah, it's got verticality, but you can just kind of fall down anyways to get away from the Zipcaster. So maybe not. Yep, looks like they've kind of gone, or yep, looks like it. Very nice, but we have the Explosion in play now, which is definitely going to be a very annoying tool to pose, especially on either one of the zones, as I think one strike can pretty much 95% occupy it or something.
Yes, more or less, but the main thing here is that, as we were saying, Missclick finally switching off of their composition and going with this triple slosher. That is definitely not something you see every day, but this is Flounder Heights, folks. Something like this can definitely work. And we are seeing it. MI5 are struggling to find an answer to this this composition, that Tri-Slosher putting out so much forward pressure, especially with that Tactic Cooler, as the Tetra is consistently getting picked before they can find a trade. And it is just really, really difficult for MI5 to push in. They're trying to make something happen with these Tri-Strikes, and they do. They find a pick on the machine, but will more than that happen? Yes, it will. They're slowly inching forwards, but this, again, it's the combination of that splash, that machine, and that Expo that make it very difficult for these dives to go off. So even though they are 2 down, look at that. Look how much space this Explosion is still holding. They're not letting MI5 push forward, push in front of zone enough to be able to set up a good lockout.
Oh, and they just edge out the lead, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to hold it for forever. But in the meantime, the Baja just going in and getting a pick and just staying very mobile for that Explosion to not hit, unless that last hit really just did count for too much of the damage. Yeah, MI5 just taking back their zone even after a Tri-Strike. Wow, it's really hard to just get a bit of an edge in unless you have a triple ring strike. Yeah, it's a bit of a standstill right now. Oh, here's a Booyah, maybe going for the back zone, and the flag. Oh, not enough. Oh, very close. I guess they have to do a bit more picking before they're able to get the zones.
For sure, but that's 3 down on the side of MI5. This might be the opportunity that Missclick was looking for, to be able to cap the other zone, and they do with all that fizzy spam. Tetra going for a pick here, not quite able to find one, and it is just MI5 being quickly pushed back, and we're probably going to see Missclick pushing very aggressively with this tactical, especially that Tri-Slosher going for some picks. While MI5 is looking for a way in with these Tri-Strikes 2 down on the side of Missclick. This may be, again, what MI5 was trying to find, a good way in, and this Splash is trying to find a pick, but is struggling with so much AoE coming out from these bombs and that Explosher, as yet another pair of Tri-Strikes come out. This is really difficult for MI5 to sustain all that aerial effect damage, all those specials. All those bombs are being very difficult for a weapon like a Tetra to go in and get a trade, since they're weakened even before they start their engagement.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be able to stay on the zone as much as they can while fighting off MI5. But unfortunately, MI5 got the capture for just a little second, pushing a big enough penalty that will make the match a bit longer, so might have a bit more opportunity to reclaim some zones in the later on. But MI5 definitely got a bit wounded with 2 going down there, and probably a third joining there. Yeah, here comes a rain cloud just to push MI5 off the ramp there. Maybe just stall them a bit more as the penalty continues to go down. A minute left remaining on the match in total. The Tri-Slosher, wow, just getting picks down on the low ground. Totally unexpected there. and a nice refreshing drink as they're approaching. Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. As they're approaching the oh my god, I forgot the word again. It seems, never mind. It's not gonna happen anyways.
But regardless, that is a counter push from MI5, not quite able to hold that lead. But this Trizuka is going to have to make something happen in order to set up MI5 with a strong enough hold here. And that pick on the expulsion was just what they needed. If they just hold zone and keep them from contesting it, maybe overtime coming out, they have to paint the zone right now. MI5, great. Okay, perfect. Overtime is still on. The Tetra did go down, but they are coming back quickly with those jumps. They managed to find that flank from the Splash-O-Matic. That's stood on the side of Missclick. MI5 just need to paint and get more picks very, very quickly, though. And the points are ticking down. It is just a paint battle at this point. MI5 looking to stall out their zone, but that's stood on the side of Missclick. MI5 are really struggling to find it. That's 3 down. It is only the Splash. They're going to get picked here very, very quickly. Baja trying to make something happen, and just like that, overtime is over, and Missclick win the paint battle, putting yet another point on the board for them and taking this set to a game 5. May I just say, Manic, your predictions of a reverse sweep are looking very likely right now.
It was a joke, but wow, the commentator curse really does go for board sometimes. But hey, at least we'll be able to see a whole 5-round best of 5, which is quite a rare occurrence sometimes, right?
Oh, no, definitely. A reverse sweep, especially at such a high level like this, it's definitely very, very exciting to see, but it is definitely admirable to see how Missclick are coming back in these games with these great counter picks and finally finding the flexibility to switch off of their composition once they found out it wasn't quite working like they needed it to. We are now going to our game 5, folks. Splat zones on Hagglefish Market. We have seen this map before. We have seen many teams play it, but the important question is whether Missclick will be able to play this to their finest and edge out this win against MI5. So tell me, Manic, based on what we have seen on this map, on this stream, because we have seen it in several sets now, what do you think we're going to be expecting these teams to do? How do you think these teams should approach this map?
Well, Missclick on the previous round was pretty good at Hagglefish Market against Carbon Domination, which is quite saying so, as well, they're definitely going to be overpowering in paint. But I mean, MI5 is probably gonna know that as with the Flounder game. They're gonna have to really step up their painting game, as it seems to have just come down to that. Not even just getting the picks, well, I guess getting picks does increase your painting prowess. So I guess we'll see how well. Oh wow, there's 2 crabs already. Oh no, God help us all.
Oh, definitely. MI5 going back to their original composition, double splash squeezer tetra, while Missclick pulling it one step further and going back to their tried and true composition that they just switched off of, the Stamper and Machine. Stamper showing everyone, no, I can make this weapon work, getting a clean direct onto the squeezer and fighting this tetra. Does they get the pick? Not quite. Baja managing to clutch out that fight and maintaining map control with their team. One of the splashes flanking on left side gets the pick on the enemy splash, playing a little bit farther back to play for that crab tank, but the tetra manages not quite and dies in the reef slider. Very unfortunate to see. Stamper getting walled out on this left side, not quite able to get some picks, but that is 2 specials online for Missclick. They're going to be pushing up with this tri-strike to try and counter Nico Loco's crab tank. Not quite able to though, and the crab tank is going to wall out the zone a lot, especially with the second crab from the side of MI5 online. Will Baja be able to get the pick? This may be crucial. They do manage to get the pick on the splash. It is a trade, but that is what Tetras go for. And MI5, although they're not quite able to get a very established presence in front of zone and push Missclick farther and farther back, they're doing a great job of just getting these staggered picks to keep Missclick from getting a very good coordinated push with all 4 members up. Baja's machine on this left side can be the key to MI5 holding this lockout.
Oh wow, that was quite the skillful bamboozle there, even though we haven't seen a bamboozle there in this tournament. Baja was really tricky on his Tetris. Here comes the tri-strike just to maybe stall a little bit. Unfortunately, not getting the entire zone just yet. But the countdown really is in range of the end of the game, and it seems that MI5 takes it. They've really just done a number of them on the zone. Wow.
Definitely, and after a grueling 2-2 set, MI5 managed to switch it up in the final game and take the set 3-2. Great games played on both sides, and may I just say that was spectacular. What a set. Definitely the closest we have had today. Now, we are going to be right back, folks, after this very grueling best of 5. We are going to be right back with our next set in this double elimination bracket. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.
See you in a sec.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!